Raising frogs for harvest requires proper pond management, water quality control, and regular feeding. Maintain optimal temperature and humidity, and protect them from predators. Monitor their growth, health, and diet, ensuring they reach the ideal size for profitable harvesting. In Old English, froga was the term used to modify this amphibian. While tracking this old version, we discovered the Proto-Germanic word frusgon that carried meaning to jump. By passing hundreds of years, it evolved into the frog, which now has become its standard name throughout the world. However, do you know how you can distinguish them from the toads? Well, you can distinguish them from toads by their smooth skin and jumping ability. In this episode, you will enjoy the different ways of frog raising, harvesting, and processing. So, sit tightly to not miss any notch until the end. Frog farming. Raising and processing the frogs can give you a huge profit. It is quite feasible until you have a suitable environment for raising them. It has been testified by many successful frog farmers that frog farming is a lucrative venture. Frog exports contribute significantly to the economies of several countries worldwide. The top 10 frog exporting nations are China, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Brazil. China leads the pack, generating substantial revenue from its frog exports, estimated at over $1 billion annually. Indonesia follows closely, with exports valued at around $700 million. Vietnam, Thailand, and the Philippines also boast thriving frog export industries, each contributing approximately $500 million to their economies. Malaysia, India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Brazil complete the list. Collectively earning around $1.2 billion. These exports underscore the global demand for frogs and their products, supporting livelihoods and trade worldwide. This trading could be beneficial for frog raisers, as they can offer tadpoles, adult frogs, and their eggs as well to those restaurants that offer exotic and royal food. You just have to take into account the necessary factors in the well-being of the frog when we talk about their life cycle and growth. A female frog can lay eggs about 10,000 to 25,000 that can be contrived within 3 weeks. However, bullfrog tadpoles like vegetables, tiny plants, and algae the most. Anyhow, frogs are slow-growth animals and take almost 2 to 3 years to fully grow. Here's the point to give a hit to the like button and tell us where you guys watching us from. The feeding procedure seems quite difficult in culturing frogs because if sufficient food is not available to them, this can cause diseases in them. Even though if you are raising them outdoors there, they can get their natural food. Anyhow, keep into account that for cultured frogs, supplemental dietary plays a dynamic role. Along with natural foods, you can add boiled potatoes, viscera of chicken, and other meat scraps. However, feeding an adult frog is a more difficult task for farmers as they do not like non-moving insects. To abandon this problem, many farmers now have started to feed them the dead silkworms on a motorized tray, which looks so helpful in this regard. Consideration of the pond's design is also another vital notch for raising the frogs. You can design them in round, oval, or square shapes, but should have shallow bays. Constructing narrow trenches is also a favorable idea in developing frog territory. Make sure that the depth of water should not exceed that limit, which will not be harmful for tadpoles and adult frogs. Also, the water level should be on the limits that can save the adult frog from immense temperature. It seems their nourishment goes well in shallow waters as they love to thrive, live, feed, and rest in those waters. Moreover, your frog farming won't be successful until you have quality water in your ponds. Well, all this stuff modifies how you can raise frog farms in the best way you can, but when the frogs are grown up and ready to harvest, how would you know that? Let's talk about the harvesting process period in frog farming and see what the perfect time is. The frog harvesting process starts in different regions at different times. In some regions, the harvesting period starts in February and in July. In some places such as Mississippi, USA's hunters often hunted frogs from March to September 30th each year. In other places, such as the UK, frogs lay eggs in March. Sounds shocking but factful. Furthermore, those tadpoles come out of eggshells within a month until the end of April. Whenever hunters find the cultured frogs ready to harvest, they begin it at once. However, their ways are different from each other. Some of them use the hand-picking method. In large-scale businesses, generally, farmers use the net to catch them in huge quantities. In many countries, farmers also use fishing lines, hand capture, hooks, spearing, or hand grabbing. However, these are all those factors that take immense hard work and a huge number is required of labor. But if we talk about the hours of picking or harvesting the frogs in the daytime, then the hours in the early morning are quite feasible. Anyways, if you cannot do harvesting during the day hours, in this case, you can pick them up in the night or early evening hours as the temperature feels low and cool at nighttime. It is considered the best time as the frogs look more active in these hours. That is why these hours are considered the best hours. After the completion of the harvesting procedure, they are brought to the process for further procedure. The frogs are brought to the buyers. Some of them are from established restaurants that want frogs in one piece. However, many of them demand processed meat from frogs. It can be their legs only, or different parts of that tiny creature. Frogs are processed in many ways by different companies according to their sizes, types, market demands, and regulations. Machines slaughter their skin and cut them into demanding pieces according to their types and specific sizes. Here, the frog meat is ready for the packing. They are sold to factories and packed according to the further requirements. After keeping them in some specific temperatures and saving them in the coolest places, packets are ready to be set in the markets. In the end, the packets are here in the market. Now available to the common consumer. They are finally set to be used by them as they cannot jump anymore in those packets. Well, that was all for today. I guess it all is quite interesting and attention-grabbing facts as it is not an old business in the world. Hope you liked the video until the end. We will be glad to hear from you about which part was your favorite from the video. Yes, you can let us know through the comment section. Share your reviews and new ideas. Stay tuned, stay with us.